When Jesus saw the man lying there and knew that he had been there a long time, Jesus said to him, "Do you want to be made well?" I've been gone close to 4 weeks now. Did you miss me? I had a buddy whose mom would say to him after she hadn't seen him in a while, "I've missed you. I've enjoyed missing you." One morning while we were away, we were having breakfast with our friend Cameron. And she was telling us about her job as a social worker, counseling youth at a therapy farm just outside of Boston. If you want to know what a therapy farm is, you'll need to ask Cameron. But she shared that at some point, working with youth who are struggling with their mental health, she challenges them with a question. What is your why? What motivates you, or what could motivate you and give your life meaning, get you up in the morning? It struck me as a very good question as we sat there at breakfast, one I need to ask myself again and again. What is your why? I had a birthday on Friday. Yes. I had a lovely time, thank you for asking. My family took me sailing, my happy place. But a birthday is a great and terrifying time to ask yourself that challenging question. What is your why? It's the question that the philosopher Alan Alexander Milne grapples with in his famous book on the subject, Winnie the Pooh. You can see clearly in this passage, which is one of my favorites. "When you wake up in the morning, Pooh," said Piglet at last, "what's the first thing you say to yourself?" "What's for breakfast?" said Pooh. "What do you say, Piglet?" "I say, I wonder what's going to happen exciting today," said Piglet. Pooh nodded thoughtfully. "It's the same thing," said Pooh. Why do I get up every morning, besides getting breakfast? Why do I care about the things that I care about? Why am I doing the things that I do? And why don't I do other things? Why do some things matter so much to me and other things not so much? What is my why? And for me, that question is not simply an existential question, but more of a spiritual question. And it's a question, as you've been hearing, that our confirmation class has been grappling with as they contemplate this step into adulthood. Why follow the Christian path? Why say yes to the grace and the love that God offers us? Why join this strange group of random people and help create this community? What is my why? As we sat at breakfast with Cameron 2 weeks ago, it became very clear that she gets a lot of satisfaction out of working with the kids in her caseload, and also some frustration. She shared that once in a while she runs into someone you could categorize as a help-rejecting complainer. A help-rejecting complainer. Someone who, yes, comes for help, but for whatever reason can't or won't accept the help that is offered. That made me think of our guy in today's gospel story, the person who lies beside the pool, sometimes called Bethesda, the house of mercy in Hebrew, a place that was associated at the time with the power of healing. As our story opens, Jesus is back in Jerusalem for one of the Jewish pilgrimage festivals. It doesn't say which one. Jesus has been to Jerusalem before, according to John, and he's going to be there again, we know, on Palm Sunday, when he'll make a big splash entering that city. Ostensibly, the reason for his visit in today's scripture is to observe this festival, but that doesn't seem to be his purpose once he's in the city. We don't hear anything about the festival. In fact, we don't know what he does to observe the festival. We only hear about his visit to the pool of Bethesda. Jesus goes to the pool, but he's not there to make a splash, so to speak. He's among those hurting people who are gathered there to see if he might be able to help, might be able to make a difference for somebody, to see whether someone there might need him, might need the love and the healing that he is always offering. His why, then, that day is not to act out of religious obligations. The why of Jesus is always to embody the love of God. That's the central theme that runs through the Gospels, and especially the Gospel according to John. John insists over and over again that the why of Jesus is to embody, to incarnate the love that is God, the love that God has for the world, for this troubled and troubling world full of troubled and troubling people. Jesus notices one particular person, although the place is crowded. He notices one particular person lying there near the pool, a person who has been suffering for a very long time, a person who has, yes, gotten himself to that place of healing, but has never been able to receive the healing that he needs. So Jesus asks this obvious but disturbing question: do you want to be made well? Do you want to be made well? Maybe you noticed, but the man never answers the question. Instead, he offers an explanation, offers an excuse for why, despite coming here every day to this place of healing, he never gets healed. This past week, we have been busy with staff evaluations. I find that it is usually fairly easy to come up with my challenges and my shortcomings, the things I need to work on. But that always begs the question, what am I actually doing about those things? Do I want to do better? Do I want to be made well? Do I want to be made well, or am I, in some sense, also a help-rejecting complainer? Do I want to have results, or do I just love having all the reasons that I don't? We can think of that man at Bethesda as a help-rejecting complainer, someone with all the reasons that he can't find healing, all the reasons he's stuck there day after day after day. Jesus sees that he has those reasons, he understands the reasons, and Jesus could just say, why should I bother? Those are good reasons, but I'm not going to waste my time. And he could just move on. But Jesus doesn't do that, because Jesus sees that those reasons are indeed reasonable. He understands that the man is indeed seeking help. Jesus also understands that he is able to help that person. He has something to do that could help that person. He can do something for him, contribute to his life, contribute to his well-being. So Jesus stays with that man and helps him until indeed he is made well. Here's my confession. By nature, I am a lazy person. I am pretty happy sitting around doing nothing. Yeah, amen. Dawson hears me and sees me. It's just that I also have this need to contribute to the world. And those two inclinations are always in some kind of conversation inside me. A bunch of us from the church were part of yesterday's No Kings protest. And there was one sign I saw that I really related to. It said, "Born to dilly-dally, forced to fight fascism." And that, You hear me? That gets back to my why I don't just sit around doing nothing. There's too much that needs to be done. So much that's wrong that needs to be made right somehow. A lot of it I can't do anything about, but some of it, I can. Sometimes it's something simple and huge. The other morning, Pastor Lee got an emergency call to accompany a woman and her autistic child to immigration court. These accompaniments are part of the support work our church has been taking on with others at this time when even routine ICE check-ins are resulting in detentions and deportations and family breakups. We were all on edge that day, waiting for Lee to get some word of the results to us. Fortunately, everything turned out okay for this particular family on that particular day, at least. Afterwards, Pastor Lee posted, "Sometimes standing up against systems of oppression looks like sitting on the floor of an immigration court with a 7-year-old who should be anywhere but here. Something so simple, something so huge." So what is your why? What is your why? What do you feel called to do? What gets you up in the morning in addition to breakfast? What's tugging at your life? What do you find urging you, prodding you on? The bottom line for Jesus is that when he sees that he has the capacity to help somebody who needs help, he offers that help. That's what he did that day at the pool of Bethsaida. That's what he did every day. That's what he is still doing. And he's doing it through us. He's doing it through you. He's doing it through me. One person at a time. Is it going to change the world? It's going to change that person's world. Strangely enough, Jesus didn't come to change the world, but he did come to love the world. That's what he did back then, and that's what he still does through us. As people who try to follow Jesus, that's a big part of our why. That's why the question, what's your why, is not only an existential question for followers of Jesus, but is essentially a spiritual question. What does my life say about me as a person, as a Christian, as a Jesus follower? What does your life say about you? What does your life say about you? What is your why?